Hello YouTube and welcome to Novus Talks with me, your host Novus Gorvius. And in this video, just like my previous video, I will be once again discussing movies. This time I am discussing the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, or movies, which, in case any of you don't know for some reason, Five Nights at Freddy's is or was a popular video game series which has gone on to seven main games and a spin-off, and has about 6 books and is now set to be a movie. It followed in the popularity of Slender Man. It was the next popular thing that came out, so it felt kind of natural to talk about that for this video. And plus, there was info on it recently. So, Five Nights at Freddy's the movie was announced in 2015, not long after the release of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, the final chapter, and we were expecting it to come out by 2018 or 2019, but now we know we have a confirmation that it will not come out until 2020. Now the reason for this is because since the story of Five Nights at Freddy's is so complicated and so big and there's a lot of details, it's very difficult to adapt that into a movie because you'd have to choose specifically which parts to include and what not to include. And Scott Cawthon has said that they are having a lot of difficulties with it. He's had to turn down a lot of scripts he'd received. One of them included a bunch of robotic plushies running around Manhattan, which to me I'm glad he turned down because it sounds like the plot of Gremlins 2: The New Batch, and I don't know how someone would have thought that would have worked well for FNAF. Scott Cawthon also went on to announce that he has a draft for the script complete, and that he is going to start working on a draft for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and Five Nights at Freddy's 3. He wants to make a movie trilogy based on the first 3 games, and he wants to have it based on how those games played out. So he said that it would deal with the original main characters. So I assume in the first movie we'll see Freddy, Bonnie, Foxy, Chica, possibly Golden Freddy, and maybe the marionette or the puppet. And I think we might get a small glimpse of Springtrap. I can definitely imagine the movies. For those that don't know, Five Nights at Freddy's is based around 3 main characters. William Afton, who is the killer of the kids, who eventually becomes Springtrap. His son Michael Afton, who was scooped by Ennard in Silver location, is trying to get revenge on his father. And then Henry Emily, who was William's business associate, who started the Fazbear Entertainment. So I can easily see them doing the first movie based around Henry and the death of his daughter, then the second one going on about Michael's struggle with his father, and obviously the third one being about William, since it's about Springtrap anyway. It only makes sense to delve into William's story there and wrap it up. But Scott will probably drag it out for more movies if he can, and just like the games. I don't really see if it becomes successful that he would just want to stop it there. I don't really see how he could either. It all depends on how the story is fleshed out in this first movie. And of course the big question is this movie going to do well? Because as we've seen with Slender Man, Eric Knudsen, the creator of Slender Man, wrote that movie alongside David Burke. But that movie still didn't gain the attention it needed, unfortunately. And a lot of people felt that movie was really bad. So I can definitely see that happening more with Five Nights at Freddy's. In fact, I think it was more likely to happen to Five Nights at Freddy's than Slender Man. Simply because Five Nights at Freddy's was popular up until the 3rd or 4th game, and then the general public lost interest due to the fandom becoming usually what happens to every fandom on the internet, overly sexualized and everything. And just the games feeling repeated and getting too complicated. So it'll be interesting following the development of this film to see what they can actually do to make it interesting, and what bits they'll actually choose to include from the games and possibly even the books. Because I remember there was photos from about 2 years ago of different set pieces of what looked like different animatronic parrots. So I don't know if those models will still be used or what's going to happen, but we'll have to see. The movie is under the production of Blumhouse, and it's being directed by Chris Columbus, I believe, who's also involved with Gremlins, funnily enough. So I can see how that came about. But yeah, I don't think FNAF Five Nights at Freddy's the movie will actually be a really big hit, because I don't people will just be exhausted, like based on general audience perception of movies nowadays. They will be exhausted if they see this overly done franchise that made its way into books is now a movie, and that movie will come out long after FNAF has become lost interest in the general public, just like what happened to Slenderman. So I can definitely see the exact same scenario happening here. I personally don't feel like a movie is good for this series. I will watch it more out of interest than anything else. I was never a fan of the series. The games themselves were pretty boring, but recently, since Sister Location came out, I've been really interested in the story, and I'm very aware of a lot of the details. And Sister Location, FNAF 3, and I suppose 6 are really the only ones that I like. I don't really care for the rest, and I absolutely hate FNAF 4 because of how complicated it is. So yeah, that's really all I have to say in this. There's not a lot else out there to say. That was just a quick update on that movie. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you a fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's series? Have you read the books, played the games? Are you interested in the movie? And what do you think the story of the movie is going to be about? And just as I said that, funny enough, I got the idea in my head that maybe it could be the kids going missing, specifically Charlotte, Emily, and then Henry goes to look for her, and maybe him or he's the night guard or something in the first one. I don't know. He might not even be the creator of the franchise in the movies. They could do it like completely differently, but we'll have to see what they can come up with, because it's very difficult to predict, and there's so much they can pull from, so much material that and they have a lot of characters as well. It's really hard to tell at this stage. We need something more solid as the time comes. So if there are any other major updates in this movie, I will let you guys know. For my next video, I will also be talking about movies once again. My next video will be talking about the Transformers movies and the future for those going forward. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you subscribe and share this video around if you're interested, and let people know. I really appreciate it. So thank you all for watching, and please subscribe. Nova Score is out.